thanks for staying with us. On Custom Reports this week, we shall highlight some of the important events that took place in customs operation in the last 3 years. Also on Customs Reports, some stakeholders deny the importation of an alleged container carrying arms into the country. Plus, more report. I am Egiseme Itinye. Stay tuned. In the last 3 years, the Customs Commission has witnessed a series of changes in the operation of its duty all over the country. The issue of revenue and anti-smuggling has continued to be the major policy of the management. We now bring you some highlights of some of the happenings around the customs in the last 3 years. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to preach the custom formations in the Western Zone on how to increase revenue base of the customs throughout the country. He was received by the Controller PTLM and a guard of honor mounted by the customs officers. The Controller PTLM conducted the CG and management around some section of the port. At Tican Island Customs Command, he addressed officers on why they should continue to block any leakages that will bring in loss of revenue to the government.
Well, let me say with all gratitude to God, we have started on a very good footing. But you know very well that we have to contend with fiscal policies and monetary policies. And the third quarter of last year, if you could remember, there was a monetary policy that addressed the issue of 41 items that were taken off the forex. That, as at the last quarter of last year, we lost about 350 billion, which we ought to have been able to collect as revenue. So we're working on that this year, hoping that that aspect of it will be reviewed. And also, you know very well that the forex has now become a scarce commodity. So we're seeing a low trend in terms of trade volume. And that, of course, affects what we collect.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has commended the Controller General of Customs alongside its management for a job well done. They made the commendation in Lagos when the Customs held Customs Consultative Forum, which was attended by MAN officials. The President speaks more on the achievement made so far by the CG of Customs.
This is a wonderful engagement. It has given us opportunity to discuss the challenges we're having in our trading, in our manufacturing with the customs. And we have been promised by customs that they're going to look into all those challenges with a view to taking care of them. We're really, really impressed.
In his speech, the customs boss has this to say at the forum. He said that the forum will further encourage cordial relationship with manufacturers throughout the country.
To begin to import, we have a website that you can go on and identify information that you want. You can go beyond that to now get in touch with us one-on-one to say, I have the intention of importing this. We'll look at the chart, we'll look at the information, we'll give you the right value and the process of importing those things.
The Nigerian Customs Service has impounded 661 pieces of brand new pump-action rifle for one importer named Oscar Okafor in Lagos. The pump-action rifles, according to the customs officers, was concealed with steel doors and other merchandise goods. The customs boss said that the rifles are under absolute prohibition, meaning that its importation is illegal.
On Sunday, 22nd January 2017, the roving team of the Nigerian Customs Service Federal Operation Unit, while on information patrol, intercepted a marked truck with registration number DDG265XG. That's this truck here. Conveying a 1 by 40 feet container with number PONU/825914/3 along Mile 2 Apapa Road. The truck was immediately taken to the premises of FOU Zone A, Ikeja, where physical examination revealed 49 boxes containing a total number of 661 pieces of pump-action rifles concealed with steel doors and other metal dice.
The Nigerian Customs Service has unveiled an electronic auction platform by which cargo that have been forfeited to the government could be sold back to Nigerians through a transparent bidding process. The unveiling was performed by the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service in Abuja. The CG described the system as a game changer for the service and to bring about a regime of transparency and consistency in the disposal of seized vehicles to Nigerians.
I welcome you to the formal launching of Nigerian Customs Service e-auction platform. I am particularly happy because the launching of the e-auction platform today marks complete departure from the manual process of the past, which was open to abuses, and of course, many of us are living witnesses to that. When I came in, the first step we did was to look at the process, and that is why we suspended the entire project. It has been a long walk to an era of a system that will ensure transparency and accountability in such a way that leaves nobody in doubt that NCS has the capacity to discharge its responsibilities with utmost sincerity. To ensure that Nigerians are well sensitized, the service in the last 2 months, through television and radio programs, print and online platforms, has engaged the general public in a robust sensitization activities to ensure that the guidelines which will be available in the platform are well known before the commencement of the exercise. What we're doing today is in line with the laws that governs the Nigerian Customs Service. So for avoidance of doubt, let us be very clear that there's nothing we're doing by the introduction of the e-auction that has gone against the laws of this great nation. We are therefore discharging our statutory function in an open, transparent, and accountable manner. This is in line with the federal government policy of doing the right thing, always, to bring about positive change in the country. By the powers vested on me as the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, and it is my pleasure and gratitude to God that today, at this moment, we launch the NCS e-auction platform. And I wish each and every bidder good luck. Thank you.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, who now doubled as the chairman of Customs Training School in Abuja, has said that the institute will continue to train personnel within and outside the country. The Customs boss made the pledge where he officially inaugurated the board in Abuja.
It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this event convened officially to establish a governing board for the Nigerian Customs Command and Staff College. The inauguration of the board is intended to provide a roadmap for the college in terms of broad policy direction, as well as a governance structure that will streamline public spending in line with the requirements of due process. There's no better time to do this than this period, when the college is being mobilized with all its requirements to commence full operations of training and capacity building. The board shall be the highest decision-making organ of the college, responsible for formulating broad policies aimed at realizing the vision and mission of the college. The Commandant shall also submit half-year and end-of-year reports to the board detailing how funds approved for the college are expended. While no effort will be spared to ensure that college gets needed funds, we must put enough checks and balances for transparency. The board will meet quarterly and any other times as may be deemed necessary by the chairman to discuss matters affecting the college. I therefore, at this juncture, without, if there is no objection, inaugurate the Nigerian Customs and Command and Staff College Board to the glory of God and for the purpose of providing effective supervision of the college. May God guide us all. Thank you.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Semi-Customs Command has again intercepted goods worth millions of naira from smugglers operating along the nation's border area. The area controller said that no amount of blackmail will stop the management of Nigerian Customs Service. He speaks small on a number of issues.
This CGO came as an intelligence report received from our sister agency. We spent 2 nights to trap them. You know, rainy season has started. No way for them on the road. So they now decide to go through the water. So we went and hid somewhere after their offloading and whatever they did, then we jammed them. There are many. Actually, we were able to pick, now you can see 9 here. There are some that spoil. We have to empty it. We have about 250 bags, which we will use our vehicle to convey from that CGO place to the warehouse. So presently now, we cannot determine the number of the bag of rice that are here. But I can tell you, say approximately we can say 1,000 plus. We have turkey, we have vegetable oil. So that's how the CGO comes in. We have been warning them. They don't hear now, no way for road. They decide to go by water. We cannot enter the water, but we can wait for them.
And this time around, you are picking 9 vehicles with this number of CGO. What happened when your men picked them?
No, there's no any challenge because it was in the night. They don't expect that we're there. So you know, if you are not expecting somebody, so you are not ready for him. So that's why we don't have any exit on fire. Immediately they discover that yes, customer around. So what they will do is now to save themselves, because if we get one of them, he's going to jail. So it's better for him to abandon the rice than to go to jail. So that's why we don't have any in contact with them. They run away.
So apart from the siege of the rice, what happened to these vehicles? They want to know.
Everything is seized. If you see the rice, you also see the means of conveyance. So everything now is seized. Just last week, they evacuated 12,000 bags of rice. If you go there now, we have another getting to 3,000, plus this one now can be 3,000. I assure you, before the end of this month, this place cannot take the rice we are going to seize, because since they say they don't hear, they will not stop. We are ready for them. We are not going to stop.
Yes, sir. Last note from this end, the issue of codeine right now. Yeah. The last time we came, you were able to show us some of the seizure.
Codeine, something, amphetamine, something amphetamine. You see a very few cartons. You see a few cartons, but no, they are not few to me, because the damage they are going to do is going to be higher than the number of the cartons. So we don't care. Even if a day we are able to arrest 1 carton, it's an achievement. I will continue arresting them. We are not going to delay. We are not going to stop it.
Which means that these drugs are containing codeine.
Very well, very well. We gave anything we arrest, when it is if it is drug, we have to call the NAFDAC. We give them, they will see it, then they will testify that this is what it is. We are not professional on that field, but we always consult NAFDAC. Now look at this one. There are different brands.
The area controller said the vehicles also arrested include the vehicles that brought in consignments into the country through the unapproved route. The newly decorated officers of the Nigerian Customs Service has said that the decoration will further help them to generate more revenue for the country and also to fight against smuggling along the nation's border, seaports, and airports.
This promotion will spur us to greater heights. We will put in more work to the service of the nation and to raise the service to a greater height.
So what will you be telling your own fellow controllers now who were elevated like you?
I'll call on all of them to work harder. This time for more work, because to whom much is given, much is expected. So it's a clarion call on all of us to work harder in wherever we find ourselves.
I thank the Almighty God for making this day possible. Then for the CG in particular, I would like to thank him for giving us a level playing field where we went in and proved our worth. And we are giving him the assurance, his management team, and the nation at large, that we are going to put in our best. With this new responsibility, we are going to work hard. The advice I will give to the newly decorated officers, irrespective of rank, is that we should work very hard. We should work hard for the benefit of the service and the country in general. This new responsibility that we've just been given, we should work hard, we should prove that with promotion, officers will excel.
This is a rare feat. In fact, this is the best ever in the history of customs. So thorough, so sagacious, so clear. Anybody currently having the rank is deserving of the rank. And with that, it goes with responsibility. Like they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. The revenue must increase. Anti-smuggling operations must also be on the increase. National security should be of great concern to all. So we remain ever grateful to the current management. In fact, I say 3 happy Gboza to the CGC for this and his management team. We have never had it like this before. So more grace to the elbows, because for you to come off tops the way it is today, you have to show it in your service, in your commitment to the service. It must be all round, because you have distinguished yourself. Therefore, your services should be distinct as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate and we pray that God will give him long life and prosperity. We have never had it to this good in customs. This is just what I want to say, and it summarizes it all.
So what will you be telling other fellow officers who are also elevated like you?
That they should be diligent and hardworking. Yes, reading every day should be added to the profession of customs.
All glory be to the Almighty Allah. We are very pleased with what happened. This is a great achievement. And our big thanks to the CGC and his management team. We must commend them for a good job well done, for the first time having this type of thorough screening, examination, rigors from one step to another without any leakages. Something that is really authentic for the first time. We are really happy with that. So this is a higher responsibility. The expectation is to work harder and make a sort of improvement in the custom management modernization, and which actually we have promised our mind, we have said so in the decoration room to the ACG. It's like we have taken our some declaration that we'll work harder and we'll prove by God's grace that we are really capable, and we'll do our best to the attainment of the height in the Nigerian Customs Service.
To be honest, this is the first time I'm experiencing it. I know that I have suffered problem of promotion in the past. But this time around, this is the first exam that I wrote for the rank of superintendent. And because of this free flat zone for us to play and you showcase who you are intellectually, I think it's a very good idea and it's a welcome idea, and that is why some of us are able to scale through. There is nothing like godfatherism. There is nothing like this is a price tag. No. If you are promoted on merit. And if you listen carefully to the explanation of the ACG, the way they scrutinize the results and the way they collected and this thing about the result, you know that yes, there is transparency. So if you did not get it, just pray to God that next time you read harder and you pass.
I'm very happy, I'm very excited, I'm truly grateful. I say thank you to them, a big thank you. Because they say to whom much is given, much is expected. So management expects us to do more. We are their eyes in the field. And I know that with this new promotion, we're going to put in our very best to take the service to the next level.
We have been waiting for this time. Integrity is the watchdog. And we are lucky we have a management that is fully depending and showing integrity in their attitude. We are ordinary customs officers, but today we are proud. The reality has been shown. We are very grateful to the management, and they will see wonders. This DC will show them that yes, they have selected the right people by Allah's grace. Indeed, all of us has been selected based on merit, and I believe all of them will put in their best, and I advise them they should shun corruption. Integrity is the order of the day. This government and the management has nothing more than integrity. So please, I am calling all my colleagues as they have been promoted, they have been carefully selected, they should show and defend the new rank.
A former Assistant Contractor of Customs, who is also a king in this area, has this to say on customs promotion in the country.
In fact, the service, the express in the service, I'm finding it very useful in dealing with my own people. You see, because, well, the service inculcates discipline in you. Of course, the discipline is visible to everybody in your domain, and they know what to stand for. You know where you stand, and they better not toy with you. Of course, you'll be friendly with them, you have their interests at heart, then you try to advise them and change their perspective about life.
What will you be telling the newly decorated officers?
Of course, what I've always tell them, you see, they should assert themselves. The pressure will always continue to be on the service. You see, the political leaders will continue to put pressure on them because the service being collector of revenue, and of course we are involved with security issues, security responsibility. We enforce government laws. It's not an easy thing. The pressure will continue to be on them, and they just have to be on their toes and be at alert and live up to the biddings. That's what I always emphasize on them.
The Nigerian Customs Service operating at Onne Port has reacted to a news that a container carrying arms and ammunition was intercepted along Aba Road. According to the Nigerian Customs Service, and stakeholders operating at the port says that the story is not true.
Our attention has been drawn to the illegal activities of some people, rather themselves as security agents, and media reports on an illegal checkpoint intercepting containers released from one of the custom commands in Rivers State, allegedly loaded with arms and ammunition. As responsible and law-abiding organizations, we make haste to put the record straight. What actually happened was that certain elements who paraded themselves as an importer and his cohort calling themselves Importers Association mounted an illegal roadblock with some men in police uniform at Oyibo near Port Harcourt. They deceived the police station at Oyibo to detain duly released containers being transported to Aba on the allegation that the containers were carrying arms and ammunition. However, the real intention was to extort money from the clearing agents. Unfortunately for them, information reached stakeholders, which resulted to the protest when it was gathered that the operation was illegal. The 10 containers were promptly released. The characters involved are known to have been hanging around custom formations, peddling one fake information or the other with an intention of extorting money from officers, clearing agents, and importers. Frustrated, this band of extortionists was resorted to disseminating false information to justify their botched illegal operation. Methodology of releasing containers at the ports involves security agencies at the ports. Hence, it is frivolous allegation that arms and ammunition were released at the ports. We hereby urge media organizations and general public to beware and disregard further falsehood that may emanate from this group, as their criminality has been reported to the appropriate agencies of government.
The stakeholders also has this to say on the container has speculated that was carrying arms and ammunition at Onne Port.
These containers were duly examined and properly released. It's not their work to know the ones that are carrying arms or ammunition. In summary, those containers never carried arms and ammunition. It is their calculated intent to kill the beast.
For us, we decided that since they mention importers and security, we have to trace to know whether the actual, you can see the Importers Association are here. They don't know those groups. And then we too do not know them. From the security agencies, they discovered that they were telling lies.
Are they the people who are charged with maintaining security of this country? Are there not procedures? If for any reason, as citizens of this country, they do have information that anything of such is happening, there is a procedure for them to give that information to the appropriate authorities to act. But because they are relying on the fact that, once they shout that their arms and ammunition are being imported, that the federal government will now start getting jittery and now start pursuing the importer. So it was a calculated blackmail attempt.
Just before this week's edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Nigerian Customs Service has continued to tell importers to stop bringing in consignments that are not approved into the country. According to the management, anyone caught will be made to face the wrath of the law. For me, Igeseme Idinye, thanks for watching.